Hey there. Today, I'll be giving you some tips on completing the Monarch's Journey challenges for Sa'ad al-Dawla, or Sa'ad Mordechai according to his title here. As usual, I'll be making this guide using only the DLC that have been made available for free, namely the Old Gods, Sword of Islam, and Sons of Abraham. Sword of Islam and Sons of Abraham aren't free anymore at this time, but Sword is required to even play as this character, and Abraham makes one of these challenges a lot less frustrating. You can get the Old Gods DLC for free by following the link in the video description and signing up for the CK3 newsletter on Paradox's website. Also down in the description are the cosmetic and quality of life mods I'm using for this video, none of which interfere with Monarch's Journey challenges or Steam achievements. Here's the rule set I'm using, and let's get this thing started. Our challenges today are as follows. First, one of us. While not being publicly Jewish yourself, have as many openly Jewish people on your council as possible. The counselors must also have at least a 10 in the attribute related to their position. 2 for bronze, 3 for silver, and 4 for gold, and this can be completed for as long as you're playing the Al-Dawla dynasty. Second is peace. Have a lot of vassals who have a different religion than you, who also have at least 60 opinion of you at the same time. Only everybody's public religions are considered for this challenge. 5 happy vassals for bronze, 8 for silver, and 12 for gold, and this can be completed as long as you're playing the Al-Dawla dynasty. Third and finally is Secret Stays with Me. Turn the tables on Sa'ad's historical enemies by killing people of the Muslim faith and Mongol culture. Mongolian Muslims are worth 2 points, and any kill where your complicity is hidden is worth 1 additional bonus point. For any points to count for this challenge, you need to keep Sa'ad at his default religious beliefs, publicly Sunni and secretly Jewish. 6 points for bronze, 10 points for silver, and 16 points for gold, and this one can only be completed while playing as Mordechai himself. Mordechai starts as a small fish in an enormous pond. He's nowhere near the most powerful vassal of the Ilkhanate. He only controls 1 piece of land in his entire duchy. He starts the challenge at 49 years old and is constantly at risk of dying of old age. His stats are mediocre aside from his stewardship, and his challenges are designed around butting heads with everyone around him who's of a different culture and faith. But as we'll see, he also has some great advantages to give his intrigue-focused Monarch's Journey some breathing room. Before unpausing your game, do the following things in addition to your usual start-of-game prep. Offer to help your liege with his overabundance of titles, and when the opportunity arises, give each county to someone close to you. The closest to you, in fact. You're giving them to yourself, that's the joke. Not only is more directly held land good for your taxes and levies, but you're also gaining access to more vassals for your challenges. When you get married, make sure your first wife has a balance between good stewardship so you can hold even more of these counties, and good intrigue to help you with the many assassinations you'll need to do. Speaking of assassinations, let's get started on the Secret Stays with Me. As you might have already been able to figure out, assassinating Mongol Muslims is the quickest way to rack up points, and Mordecai's lifespan can be inconsistent, so efficiency is the name of the game here. Using the character finder and searching with the parameters displayed on the screen now, you should be able to invite a few Muslim Mongols, probably only women. Check the list of those who won't be willing to join your court, as you can still get some to come over to you by marrying them to yourself or to men within your court. Make sure to get your spy master building a spy network in your capital to min-max your plot power, and you should be ready to unpause. Once all the people you invited start flooding in, begin picking off Muslim Mongols one by one with murder plots, starting with the people who have the highest plot power. You'll probably need to hand out some bribes to take out some of them, but you'll make money pretty easily with the large amount of land you gain from helping your liege, plus your great stewardship skill. If you go over your domain limit, remember that you can squeeze more counties into your domain by passing higher centralization laws, and if you really have to give something away, give it to a courtier who's of a different religion so that they can start counting toward the peace challenge. Check the character finder every couple of months for new Muslim Mongols who are willing to join your court for free. For some reason, the number tends to pick up after you unpause. With a little bit of luck, you should be able to kill off enough Muslims/Mongols to fulfill that challenge before Mordechai dies, so just keep grinding on it in the background and try to get all your plots above at least 100% power using bribes so that murder attempts fire at a relatively quick pace. In my game, I didn't have much trouble even getting above 200% for some targets. You should also marry the Muslim Mongols to each other in your court for a chance of producing Muslim Mongol babies, which are notoriously easy to murder and are just as valuable as adults for this challenge. Also, don't forget that each Muslim man can marry 4 women. So now for the elephant in the room. It is really inconsistent to get Jewish characters into your court if you aren't publicly Jewish yourself. You have 2 options. The first is only possible if you have the Sons of Abraham DLC, and involves publicly revealing your Jewish faith so you can invite 4 qualified Jewish men to put on your council. Then, after they come to your court and you have them set up in their positions, convert back to Sunni secretly by right-clicking the Baghdad County crest, and then publicly convert to Sunni so that you hit all the requirements for the challenge. Pretty straightforward as long as you can handle the prestige and piety costs. If you don't have Sons of Abraham, you can't convert your own characters to being publicly Jewish, and the event that causes random Jewish characters to show up in your court is also tied to this DLC. So even waiting for that random event to fire is a no-go. Since I don't want to take up too much time in the main body of this guide, and these guides are after all made with the free DLCs in mind, I'll save my explanation for how to do this without Sons of Abraham for the end of the video. Peace is a surprisingly difficult challenge to pull off. I recommend finishing all the other challenges before even worrying about attempting this one, because finagling 12 direct vassals into loving you at the same time might require you to make some changes to your realm that aren't optimal for the other achievements. First off, if you've done anything tyrannical or that reduces all your vassals' opinion of you before this point, just make things easier on yourself and reload a save so that you don't have to struggle to overcome that penalty. Set up your character finder to search only your vassals, filter by rulers who are not of your religion, then arrange the list from highest to lowest opinion to see what you have to work with. On average, I find that sending a gift to a vassal gives them a bonus of 24 to 28 to their opinion, sometimes a little more or less depending on their traits. Greedy vassals will pretty much gain 60 just from a gift alone. Here are the general steps you should take. Step 1. Make sure you actually have 12 direct vassals under you. If you scroll over a portrait and it says your vassal in green letters, they're your direct vassal. Vassals who are on your council are also your direct vassals by necessity, so if it says your marshal or your spymaster, they are also your direct vassal. If there's a family or friend relationship, that isn't necessarily an indicator, so click on them and check that the liege to the top right of their portrait is your character. If you don't have 12 direct vassals under you, you'll need to conquer some stuff or build more baronies to expand your realm and get more direct vassals. Step 2. Manage your domain. For every one county that you're over your domain limit, you get a minus 10 opinion penalty with all your direct vassals. We obviously want to get rid of that, and vassals get a huge opinion bonus from you handing out counties to them, but be very careful when you're doing this. When you hand out a county to someone, you're also transferring vassalage of all the barons within that county to them, which means that those barons are no longer your direct vassals and can't count toward the challenge for you. So if you give anything away, make sure that you don't need the barons underneath that county to complete the challenge, either because they dislike you too much to make you like them, or that they are the same religion as you and their opinions don't count. Step 3. Check to see how much effort each direct vassal will require to get them to 60 opinion, and how much they'll gain by sending them a gift. If you have the money, and you should, anyone who can be placated with just a gift should be ignored until the very end of this process. Make a list in a notepad app or on a piece of paper if it helps you remember which vassals have hit a point where you can send a gift to push their opinion above 60, and which ones will require more effort. We have a very limited number of ways to raise opinion, so these ways need to be reserved for the vassals who will require something more than money to win over. Step 4. Go to your count vassals and transfer vassalage of any barons who have the same religion as you under them. These barons don't help your progress toward the challenge, and each one that you transfer to one of your counts will increase opinion by 10. If you still need more opinion from the counts and have a lot of direct baron vassals to spare, you can transfer barons who really hate your guts, since you probably won't be able to make them like you anyway. Step 5. Go into your council and your honorary titles and begin purging anyone whose opinion doesn't count towards the challenge, replacing them with the important direct vassals who do. Council positions, titles, and commander roles each provide small bonuses to opinion, and most of them can be stacked with each other. Hand these roles out carefully to direct vassals who you need more opinion from, making sure not to give too many to the same person. Remember, we're gonna bribe everyone at the end of this anyway, so you only need to use your limited title slots to get each vassal up to the opinion it will take for a bribe to push them up to 60, though again, that exact amount depends on how much opinion each individual will gain from a bribe. Commander roles give +5 each and are the most fluid, since they can be switched around freely, and firing a commander doesn't cause them to have any opinion penalty against you. Most honorary titles give +5, though designated region and maybe some others depending on your character's religion give +10, but all of them cause an opinion penalty when you revoke the honorary title, so make sure that you're giving them to the right person. Council positions also give +10 and have an opinion penalty for firing, but if a vassal has the ambition to become a counselor or to become a specific type of counselor, they get an additional temporary +10 opinion from being given the correct job. Use this to squeeze as much opinion out of your limited positions as possible. Step 6. Hopefully by this point you're pretty close to the point where sending a gift to anyone who's still under 60 opinion will get them up to 60. The options available to you to raise opinion further at this point are limited and depend upon your culture, your religion, and which DLCs you have. Use whatever methods are available to you in particular to get the rest of your 12 most loving vassals up to the point where a bribe will seal the deal. If you have any kids 6 years old or older, you can assign a vassal as their guardian for plus 10 opinion. You can reduce obligation laws for cities, temples, or nobles to get plus 10 opinion from every direct vassal in those respective categories. If you have enough technology points, you can increase customs tech under culture for small bonuses from those respective groups. With some creativity, you can squeeze quite a lot of opinion out of seemingly nowhere. Step 7. When you've confirmed that a bribe will push everyone above 60 who isn't currently at that threshold, send gifts to everyone who needs one, and hopefully you'll be in a golden spot with 12 direct vassals of a different religion with 60 or higher opinion of you. Let one day pass for the game to calculate this, and the challenge should be unlocked after no small amount of effort on your part. I really like this Monarch's journey because it's much more focused on internal realm politics while remaining a vassal under a relatively stable liege, rather than the other challenges which mostly require a bunch of land grabbing and blobbing. As usual, if there were any interesting events that happened on your playthrough of this challenge, or you have a strategy or a tip that I didn't cover in this video, feel free to leave a comment. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time. So, completing One of Us without Sons of Abraham, or any DLCs, really. To recap, you can't convert to Judaism and invite Jewish characters to your court, and you can't get any random events that involve Jewish exiles showing up. Without Conclave, you can't even buy favors from Jewish guys to make them come to you, so without the ability to bring Jews to us willingly, we've got to appropriate some. And wouldn't you know it, you've got 3 Jewish brothers whose lands will go to you upon inheritance. At the start of the game, begin plotting to kill your youngest brother, Chief Faker of Hasakah. Invite the 12 highest intrigue Sunni women you can from the character finder, and marry 4 of them to each Sunni man in Faker's court. All of them should be willing to join your plot to kill him because of the religious differences, and when he dies, Hasakah will go to you, but more importantly, the 2 Jewish barons he has beneath him will go to you. Now, you can't use the same assassination method on your other 2 brothers because their courts don't have any Sunnis who will accept marriage offers from you. However, with a good spy master and some bribes, you should still be able to find enough support to kill them. Or just try to outlive them. All of them are in their 40s, and even though you're the oldest of the brothers, you get a small boost to your health from being a renowned physician. And you have time on your side because you don't need to be playing as Saad himself, just a member of his dynasty, to complete this challenge. And if your brothers have kids before passing away, well, kids are easier to assassinate than adults. Each brother you kill gives you access to 2 additional Jewish baron vassals that you can potentially put on your council as long as you keep the counties for yourself. If you're lucky, you'll have 1 baron with at least 10 each of diplomacy, martial, stewardship, and intrigue to put on your council and complete the challenge. If that isn't the case, you need to act quickly, because when these vassals die while under your ownership, they'll be replaced with Sunnis. If you find yourself in a situation where you can't put together a 4-Jew council with the barons you have access to, you can give a maximum of 1 county to one of the rabbis and 1 county to a Jewish mayor. Don't give them the counties that contain the other Jewish barons, because then you'll lose access to those vassals for your council. Give them counties that you got from helping your liege with his titles. When these barons are given a count-level title, their courts begin to fill up with courtiers. Most of these will be of the religion and culture of the county that you give them, but every once in a while they'll get a Jewish courtier as well. If these Jewish courtiers have high enough stats that you still need on your council, give them their own land so that you can put them on your council. If they don't, give them a county anyway so you can re-roll with their newly generated court and see if there are viable Jewish courtiers in that one. You can save scum this if you're on Bronzeman, but basically just repeat the process until you get lucky with Jewish courtiers having the stats you need for the challenge. It's luck-based, and you need to work quickly before your Jewish vassals are replaced with Sunnis upon death, but it should work eventually. I spent way too much time out of my life figuring this crap out.